How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to show you what it's like to drive the 2019 911 Speedster from a first-person point of view. Meant to celebrate the 70th anniversary of Porsche, only 1,948 of these topless, essentially GT3s were made. At the rear of the Speedster is a 4-liter flat six that makes 502 horsepower and 346 pound-feet of torque. That's smack dab in the middle of GT3 and GT3 RS power figures. 0 to 60 happens in just less than 3.8 seconds, onto a top speed of 193 miles an hour, and the best part about the Speedster, other than the fact that the roof comes off, of course, is that they only come with a manual transmission. The front of the 911 Speedster looks very much like a 991 GT3. However, in fact, it started life as a Carrera 4S Cabriolet and was stiffened substantially, and they put the GT3 RS motor in the rear. But of course, the coolest part of the Speedster's looks is this rear end with the dual haunches right behind the driver and passenger seat. This opens up, it's actually fully exposed carbon fiber underneath, which I'll show you right now. So once we click this button right here, we also have an awesome Steve McQueen quote on both placards. This deck lid opens up to reveal where the cloth top stores. We manually can put this back up, but of course we're going to leave it down for today. But look at how awesome this is. Fully exposed carbon fiber underneath for weight savings. What a gorgeous car. The interior is fully custom from the factory. We've got these gorgeous houndstooth inserts, the nice tan leather with carbon fiber and black accents, straps for the door handles, once again to save weight, super simplified steering wheel with no buttons whatsoever, contrasted white stitching, that glorious 6-speed manual transmission with carbon fiber, and look at this, the 70th anniversary badge showing it's number 1744 out of 1948. We also have something really cool behind the front seat. Because there would normally be rear seats back here, but of course the tonneau cover is completely blocking it, we still have extra space down here, which can be used to store helmets behind both the driver and passenger seat. Pretty cool little Easter egg. To fire up the Speedster, because it's right-hand drive, you actually put the key to the right of the steering wheel. We've got analog gauges in a font and color that's very similar to the 993 generation. Beautiful 6-speed manual transmission, incredible shift throws. We've got the exhaust valve button here, front lift, rear wing, auto rev matching, suspension settings, and traction control. I love the Porsche embroidery here. Of course, we've got that insignia, and this part right here is really cool to look through. The houndstooth interior is absolutely gorgeous, and behind the Speedster carbon fiber piece, of course, are cup holders in case you want to have a drink in your Speedster. But honestly, please do not do that. We've got the sport chrono dial up here, which is awesome. The graphics are all right, climate control, but really, let's see what this thing is like to drive. All right, behind the wheel of the Speedster now. The top was down about 5 seconds ago, but the lovely English weather has decided to turn on us, and so we decided to put the top up. Now, to save weight, we don't have an electronically operated top, which I think is cool, but obviously just got to experience firsthand what happens when it starts dumping rain out of nowhere. You do have to pull over and manually put the top up. But I just Googled the difference between the GT3 and this curb weight, and it's literally only 60 pounds, which is really impressive considering the fact that the top goes down, you've got that bigger rear tonneau cover. The suspension is so darn comfortable, it's actually amazing. I just hopped out of the GT3 RS 4-liter, which obviously is one of the most intense Porsches ever made, and hopping in this, it feels like it's a darn Rolls Royce in comparison. It's such a nice cruising car, and it's easy to drive. The steering is a lot lighter than I was expecting. And what I didn't realize is this car starts life as a Carrera 4S Cabriolet. It's not an actual GT3 body that they cut the roof off of, which I guess would ruin the structural rigidity of the car, as opposed to taking a car that was developed to be a convertible originally, then stiffening it even more from there, and then putting the GT3 powertrain in it. And this actually has more power than a GT3, but slightly less than the GT3 RS. I absolutely love the interior. It's such a classy looking car. The exterior color is absolutely gorgeous as well. Extremely rare, and having those PTS details and the heritage color scheme without all of the graphics package, I think makes this car look so classy. If you normally get the Heritage Edition, you've got big circles with numbers on the side. The front end of the car is covered in white, which is cool to some degree, but I think this looks more subtle with these accents that you really, if you know, you know, but if you don't, you'd have no idea that this was a Heritage Edition car. I really love the instrument cluster. It really reminds me of a 993 generation Porsche. It's got kind of this almost really light blue. It's like an off-white color, and the font feels more old school, which is very, very awesome. I also love the carbon fiber shift knob. Looks cool. The juxtaposition between the tan, the carbon fiber, and the black is just an unbelievably awesome spec. It's obviously a fast car. We went full throttle before it was raining, and it accelerates quickly. It sounds great. It revs to 9,000 RPM, but it does feel like more of a car that you would cruise on PCH on, with the top down, wide, twisty roads, maybe Angeles Crest Highway, as opposed to something like the Malibu Canyons where it's super tight and twisty. It's more of a relaxed vibe, but at the same time, obviously, it's got that screaming engine when you step on the accelerator pedal. It doesn't have quite the piercing noise of a GT3. It's like a little bit more reserved, but at the same time, it still has an epic exhaust note to it. And I love the fact that even though this is essentially a GT3 touring convertible, we've still got things like these vinyl straps to save weight. We don't have a badge on the front. It's a sticker or painted on. I mean, come on, that's with the roof up. It still sounds absolutely awesome. And going around turns, I'm actually very, very shocked at how light the steering is. They really did make this such a more relaxed car than a GT3 or a GT3 RS. The suspension ride's so nice. It still has a bit of firmness. It honestly reminds me a bit of a Turbo S, where it still has a little bit of feedback. You still feel like you're in a sports car, but at the same time, it glides over bumps without that harshness that you get in a GT car, which I think suits the nature of this vehicle very, very well. I will say, it actually doesn't feel all that special behind the wheel. When you drive something like a 4-liter or a 918 or a GT3 RS, it has this really special feeling to it. This just feels kind of like a normal car, but at the same time, it's got these special design elements to it, like the convertible and like the fact that we do have a manual with basically a GT3 RS engine with slightly less horsepower. But it does kind of feel more like a Turbo S than a super, super special edition Porsche, despite the fact that there's literally only 1,948 of these, which makes it very rare, very collectible and expensive. And conceptually, it's really cool, a Porsche having a manual and a convertible. But I honestly feel like if it was any other manufacturer, the powertrain and the convertible setup actually isn't all that unique. It's just a manual convertible. But because it's Porsche, they make these editions so exclusive. But looks-wise, I mean, the design language of this car is absolutely insane. And especially, I think the spec just makes it look remarkable. I mean, it's like a classic-looking Porsche, almost like Singer-esque, yet it's from 2019. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Hopefully we can get one of these out when it's not raining. Drop the top. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. Once again, special thanks to the Lake House Collection for making this possible. I've got their Instagram information in the description below, as well as a new storage facility in Southern California with some information about that as well. Pretty cool, coming out soon. All right, guys, see you next video.